welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the MVP Show. Today we're heading to Oklahoma. Joy is from Orchestry. She leads success and enablement. Full links are in the show notes. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here, all the way in New Zealand.
All the way in New Zealand. Yes, the other side of the world. Now, didn't you are formerly, or are you still known as the Joy of SharePoint?
Joy of SharePoint is still my Twitter handle. In fact, when I got awarded MVP, I got a message from Jeff Teeper saying to never change it. So I was like,
nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, if Jeff tells you something, you should definitely listen, right? So
absolutely.
Very important. Food, family, and fun. What do they mean to you in Oklahoma?
Food is life in Oklahoma. In fact, I'm a Southern Baptist girl from Alabama. So food is like seriously life. Warmth, welcoming community. I think those are the things that we associate with food. Also, unfortunately, I have to say hobby. I enjoy food so much. Yeah. Family, that's everything though, isn't it? I think that's what keeps us grounded, what keeps us humble. That's what picks us up and pushes us when we're tired and don't think we can go anymore. And I'm very blessed to have a great family, both by blood and by choice. So I think that's quite a privilege.
It's a good distinction. And fun. What's the fun bit?
Fun for me, travel. I think travel is just absolutely such a blessing, such a gift I'm able to do at this stage of my life. In fact, we're prepping for a big trip in October. It's a way for me to disconnect from the Microsoft fun part of things, to kind of recenter with my husband. And I think the more we travel, the more we realize this planet's pretty small and we're all so very similar in so many important ways. I love that travel exposes that.
The one thing I will take away from travel, and you mentioned this about family, is that fundamentally people are good and family is important no matter where you go in the world. And my wife and I went to Vladivostok on the rough side of Russia. So past Siberia, went all through Siberia. We went coast to coast of Russia in 2017. And everybody said, don't go there. These are local Russians that we knew. We were coming from Australia at the time that said, it is dangerous there. Don't go out at night. Don't do that. In the city of Vladivostok, we went out at night, walked the streets, met people that just wanted to have conversation with us, ask us about family, tell us about their family, even though we were translating through Google Translate in so many situations to have a decent conversation. And what really dawned on me is this deep sense of people love their families and their sense of belonging in families, no matter where you are in the world. And that predominantly people are good, but they always talk about the fear of that unknown place. So that even they'd say, where are you going from here? We're going on to this city. We're going into Irkutsk, for example. And they'd be like, I've heard bad things about that, dangerous. Have you ever been? No, never been, just heard stories of stories. And it's a funny thing around the world. Everyone is fearful of the places they've not been, or have a story.
Yeah, we do tend to be a little afraid of things that are different, but I think that, like you said, the more you go places, the more you see that they're really not that different.
Yeah. So true. Tell me about Copilot adoption. What do you know about it? What's your experience? What do you preach?
Just jumping right in. I love it. It's selfishly, I am all for it. I love it because it is basically brushing off the dust of the things that I was saying 18 years ago about good information architecture. logical permissions, building according to permissions. It's governance rebranded is what it is. I almost said is all it is. That would be poor use of the word all because it's a lot. I can say it in 3 simple steps, but it would probably take a minimum of 3 months to really detail and outline what that plan would look like. But flattening that architecture, it was important in the first version of SharePoint I ever worked on, which was 2007. It was important in classic online. It's important in modern online, especially modern online. The M365 world is built to be flat. That's where all the goodness happens, whether it's Copilot, search, just findability. Nobody likes digging through 50 folders, but yet we're compelled to build 50 folders. Why do we do it?
Do you know why, though? I think search has always never been the best. And so it's forced us to go that way.
It's fair. My reflex, though, I felt it. I felt the reflex go, well, has search always never been the best because we've never created a proper environment for it? We never did the best bets back in the day when that was there, right? We never actually flattened the architecture. We've just always done those old file share habits, and search wasn't meant for that.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting and very valid. And of course, I find now one of the comments I get a lot from folks is Copilot is amazing in what it can find inside your network, inside your infrastructure. And like, we didn't even know that was there and it's there. Yeah.
And we do focus a lot in Orchestrate. We talk about oversharing a lot because we have some tools to kind of help combat that and expose oversharing risks. But I think something we're not talking about enough, and it's a symptom of bad information architecture. I'm going to say more than permissions. That could be incorrect, but I'm going to roll with it. Is undersharing, because the other day, Copilot was not referencing a document I knew existed because it was my document. I created it, but it was put in a team that had overutilization of folders. I didn't make it. I just want to say that right now. And it was 4 or 5 levels deep. So when I went to go, I know where this is. I know what it is. I'm going to go look at it right now. It was so deep that Copilot was like, sorry about you. No.
Interesting. Yeah.
So there's a very nebulous kind of give and take with that. Oversharing, I mean, a breach of security is a big deal. It could be very costly. But undersharing means I'm not getting all of the data that I need to make informed decisions with what Search and Copilot are bringing back to me. That could also be costly. That could also be an issue. So thinking about both sides of that coin for sure as we go into this age of AI.
So from your point of view, how does governance make or break Copilot adoption?
Really good governance means you are launching with Copilot able to correctly, effectively process what you're asking it for and give you back your information. And it's that old adage, you only get one chance to make a good first impression. If we turn people loose at a $30 a month SKU and say, just go try it, and it stinks, why would I waste my time in 6 months to try again? I'm going to be annoyed by that.
We can finish this podcast right now because that one line of there's only you only get one chance to create a good first impression is just exploded in my mind. So many things around that Copilot story, and where I see news articles, and there was one on LinkedIn back a bit in the Australian market, which is the Australian federal government had thrown out a 300-seat deployment of Copilot because nobody adopted it. And it's just like, I then in the comments, because this person was being a detractor, I just absolutely ripped apart why to point to that piece of software was being the reason that it wasn't adopted was absolute rubbish. But what you've highlighted behind there and is the challenge then, if you if you give people that bad experience, and I think actually any adoption process that you try to do in a company now is always clouded by their adoption experience of the past, of that other bit of software that was rolled out. And I think just in that one phrase, you've absolutely captured something that's so critically important to be done right the first time.
We underestimate how important the relationship is between IT and the business, whether it's, I don't know, pharmaceutical, healthcare, industrial, construction, insurance, education. That relationship between IT and the people using the technology is critical. And I point back frequently when I present and I speak to when I became a SharePoint farm admin. It was a SharePoint 2007 farm. And the organization I was working at got it because the IT guy said, we need to have it, write the check. Everybody's doing it. So they did that. And the adoption exercise where they sent emails to the head of every department and said, here's the link to your SharePoint site. Ship it and forget it. Content databases sold up, stood up. Web applications done. Site collections created. Here you go. Here's your link. Guess what happened? One of two things happened. Either someone saw that email, clicked the link and said, I don't know what any of this is, and they never looked at it again, or they treated it like an online file share. And it wasn't the best experience. What's the difference? Why are we here? That took years to unravel. Years.
Yeah. I do feel, and you talked about IT then, IT in many organizations has a bad reputation. And it's a bad reputation that they created for themselves. And don't shoot me whoever's listening to this, and I've been in IT my entire career, but it started back from acronyms like the ID10T era, right? Which is, the old help desk era. Which is making the person calling help desk feel like a numpty. They don't know what they're doing. And then the IT person doing something behind the scenes that it made it look like there was never an issue, right? So let's say a service had failed and that's why this person was getting an error. They see that. They don't go, oh, a service has failed. They correct it and go, oh, just reboot your computer. It'll be solved. And of course, person reboots the computer, it is solved. But they didn't see the sleight of hand that happened over here to start a service again, as an example. And I feel that now in the Copilot's era, they go, oh, it's a piece of software, so it's IT's. Yet it's a fundamental piece of tech that is going to totally change the entire way all work is done in the future. And it's a big risk just to leave it with IT, I feel.
Absolutely. And that too, because I'm including myself in this analogy, we're as bad as doctors with having that kind of little g God complex, because we know all about it. We know what's best for you. Just trust us, do what we say, and it's going to be fine. But when Brenda in accounting said, well, I needed this. This is what I need to be able to do. Did IT go, oh, we have SharePoint, you have Teams, it does all that? Or did they say, tell me more about how it's not working for you now. Tell me more about what this means to you. What are you having a hard time with today with the tools you currently have? Did anyone sit down and talk to Brenda? Because Brenda is amazing at Excel and spreadsheets and invoices and contracts and all that stuff. It's not her job to be a Microsoft 365 expert. She needs someone to ask her questions, to have a conversation, to actually find out what the problem is. Maybe she needs to do file sharing with a vendor outside of the organization. And nobody once ever told her you have OneDrive for those large files to share, or you can do that in Teams if you create a team with guests. How is she supposed to know? How is she supposed to just read the minds of IT? That's IT's job.
So how important is adoption?
It's everything. Because adoption means top down, right? It means we're getting a return on the investment in the tools we've made. And we know that's very important because We work very hard to bring income into an organization that should be treated responsibly. And we need to be good stewards of that. But it also means the needs of my employees are being met. Productivity, I think we kind of have put a crown on productivity that makes it like Lord of all. But productivity doesn't just mean more work's getting done. It means it's getting done with less friction for the employee. That's so important. Otherwise, they're out the door because they were just so frustrated they couldn't handle things. So it's everything from return on investment to our tool set to the employee experience, employee wellness, which all creates this beautiful circle for that, very important productivity that we're getting work done safely, securely, and effectively.
How important is metadata when it comes to Copilot?
Now I'm going to tell you my favorite pun ever. I never met a data I didn't like.
I like it.
I know it's terrible. Mark Cashman gave me a thumbs up on it, so I use it all the time. I'm still waiting for Copilot to do more with metadata. So when I'm approaching the metadata conversation with like business users and the people that are managing the data, it's really for me more of a conversation of do this to make your life better, and Copilot will catch up. If I look at a tag on a document, I don't have to open that document to know what it's about. I can see those properties here. It can tell me what kind of sensitivity label needs to be there. It can help me with security. It can help me do a lot of things. It can trigger automations. It makes things more findable. And all that's very, very important. And I think Copilot's just going to be catching up on that here in the future, being able to trigger on that more effectively.
So how much in what you do is working with Purview?
Me personally, not a lot, though. So a lot of what I do right now is have these exact kind of conversations with orchestrate customers about where are you today, where do you want to be, and how does our tool help you on that journey. But I kind of sit over here on the side and kind of keep an eye on what's going on with Purview. Thank you, Microsoft, for including SharePoint Advanced Management with the Copilot license. That was beautiful. That was a wonderful thing to see. And now seeing some of the data loss prevention policies and I'm going to get the acronym wrong, some of the new dashboards that are coming along to see what people are doing with Copilot in the organization, that reporting and that visibility. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Awesome. Quick fire question for you. Viva topics.
Rest in peace.
Did you love it or hate it?
I am impressed with most of what I've seen of the Viva suite. I'm brokenhearted that it hasn't gotten the respect I think it's due, all the various applications that make it up. Topics, magic. Seeing that ingested in other tool sets in Microsoft 365, I think it's a good thing overall. I wish this could go to a whole Viva conversation, but I wish the Viva suite as a whole was given a little bit more love because that's the technology adoption platform in Microsoft 365.
Yeah. Haven't they just retired another Viva tool, I feel, or it's about to be retired?
That sounds right, but off the top of my head, I'm grasping.
Do you know, to some degree, I feel that some of the Viva tools and why I think they didn't get the traction is that they were lipstick on a pig in many situations. And what I mean by that, they're a LMS inside an organization, I think is one of the most critical tools that any modern company should have. But their LMS, which I don't know what's it called now, Viva something or other, Viva Learn, is it? It might be. It was lipstick on a pig, as in, I think information architecture around how you train people has come forward so much from SCORM-based environments. And there's and this is why we've seen so many in-market SaaS platforms like Thinkific, School, Zenla, these type of platforms have done so well because they just make it super simple to publish courses and publish content that people can consume and track who's done what. And yet, like some of the work I do for Microsoft, and I'm like, if I want to put something on Viva Learn, the amount of people that have to sign it off instantly creates a level of friction that content's not getting to the audience.
Yeah. And there was a disconnect, I feel, in some of the messaging about Learn is not here to be your LMS per se. It's here to ingest your LMS, right? And give it a place in Teams for the thing. But I think there was just a hard time figuring that out. Like you said, it was a little more complicated than I think a lot of people had the appetite for when we could just link to it and be done with it.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.